Imagine fighting a war for 10 long years. The greatest warriors in history have bled and died outside the massive, unbreakable walls of a city that simply refuses to fall. Then, one morning, you wake up to find the enemy's camp empty. Their ships are gone. All that remains is a towering, magnificent wooden horse standing silent on the beach. Is it a gift of surrender, or is it the most brilliant and deadly trap ever conceived? This is the story of the Trojan Horse, the ultimate deception that brought an empire to its knees and changed the face of mythology forever. For a decade, the Greeks had besieged the city of Troy. Despite their strength and the bravery of heroes like Achilles, the walls of Troy, built by the gods themselves according to legend, remained unbreached. The Greek army was exhausted, their morale was crumbling, and their supplies were running low. They knew that brute force would never win this war. They needed a miracle, or better yet, a mastermind. That mastermind was Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, famous for his cunning and wit. He realized that if they couldn't knock the gates down, they would have to be invited in. The plan was as bold as it was dangerous. Under the direction of Odysseus, the Greeks constructed a massive hollow wooden horse. They used planks of fir and inscribed it with a message. The Greeks dedicate this thank offering to Athena for their safe return home. But inside the belly of this wooden beast, the elite of the Greek army, including Odysseus himself, hid in total silence. The rest of the Greek fleet did something unthinkable. They burned their tents, boarded their ships, and sailed away. But they didn't go far. They hid their fleet behind the nearby island of Tenedos, waiting for a signal. When the Trojans saw the smoke from the Greek camp and the empty horizon, they rushed out of the city gates in celebration. They believed the nightmare was finally over. However, the giant horse standing before them sparked a fierce debate. Some wanted to burn it, while others believed it was a sacred object that would bring Troy the protection of the goddess Athena. To seal the deception, the Greeks had left behind a man named Sinon. He pretended to be a deserter and told the Trojans a carefully crafted lie, that the horse was an offering to the gods, and that if it were brought inside the city, Troy would become invincible. There were warnings, of course. The priest Laocoön famously shouted, "I fear the Greeks," even those bearing gifts. He even threw a spear at the horse, and it is said a hollow groan echoed from within. But legend says that Poseidon sent giant sea serpents to kill Laocoön and his sons, which the Trojans interpreted as a sign that the priest had offended the gods. Even the prophetess Cassandra warned that the horse would be the city's downfall, but she was cursed, never to be believed. Blinded by their desire for peace, the Trojans tore down a portion of their own unbeatable walls to drag the massive horse into the heart of the city. That night, Troy threw the greatest party in its history. Soldiers drank until they passed out, and the citizens slept with a sense of security they hadn't felt in 10 years. But in the dead of night, Sinon signaled the Greek fleet at Tenedos with a torch. Inside the horse, Odysseus and his men heard the signal. They quietly unbolted the trapdoor and climbed down using a rope. They quickly killed the sleeping guards and threw open the gates of Troy. The Greek army, which had sailed back under the cover of darkness, poured into the city. What followed was a night of absolute fire and blood. The Trojans, caught completely off guard and mostly unarmed, stood no chance. The city that had survived 10 years of war fell in a single night. Buildings were burned, the royal family was executed, and the once mighty Troy was reduced to ashes. The deception was complete. The Trojan horse has since become one of the most famous metaphors in history, representing any trick that causes a victim to invite an enemy into a securely protected space. Whether the horse was a literal wooden statue or a metaphor for a massive siege engine, the lesson remains the same. The most dangerous enemies aren't always the ones outside your walls, but the ones you let in yourself. Thank you for traveling back to ancient Troy with us today. If you enjoyed this dive into history's greatest deception, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to share this video and subscribe for more epic stories from the past. Thanks for watching.